I've featured a number of watches from the brand Phoebus here on my channel. They make very high quality watches for very good prices. However, up until now, they have been missing one important element. Their watches are great, but there was one thing that was always missing in every review that I've ever done for the brand, especially their dive watches. And finally, they have corrected this issue in this latest watch. I have the newest Wavemaster hands-on to show you guys. This is their most refined diver yet, and I'm excited to show it to you guys hands-on. So let's flip the camera and take a look at the latest Wavemaster from the brand Phoebus. So the Wavemaster 39 is their latest iteration of what is their most straightforward dive watch. This is a 39 millimeter dive watch. It's really 39.5 millimeters at the case, and it's 39.9 millimeters at the bezel, but it basically measures in at around 40 millimeters. It feels like a 40 millimeter watch. It looks like a 40 millimeter watch. It's around 11.4 millimeters thick. According to my calipers, you do get a flat sapphire crystal on this watch with AR coating, and there's a bunch of layers of AR coating on this watch, and there's a bunch of layers of Lume on this watch as well. Usually with Phoebus, you get very good Lume. And Phoebus in general make very good watches, especially their dive watches. I find them very attractive. I think they do a good job putting them together and giving you a very nice feeling watch, a very expensive feeling watch for a very good price. However, there is always one thing missing with these watches, and we'll get back to that in just a few seconds. I think this is going to be a winner, and I hope they keep going in this direction for the future. So this gets an 11.4 millimeter case, like I was saying, with that flat sapphire crystal, and you get a 46 millimeter lug to lug. It does get female end links, so it does feel larger on wrist when you're wearing it on the bracelet. It's around 53 millimeters with that bracelet. However, if you wear it on a strap, it will feel like a 46 millimeter watch. This gets a black dial with that wave pattern. You get blue indices, which is weird, and the hands as well. You have these blue toned indices and hands, and then you have a little bit of color on the second hand as well. And then of course you have the Phoebus logo right below the 12 o'clock index, right above the 6 o'clock index. It says automatic 200 meters because this is a 200 meter water resistant watch. This is the dateless version, so this is getting a Miyota 9039 inside. I believe that's also an improvement from the previous versions as well. I believe those had Seiko movements inside, the Seiko NH movements, so obviously that's the reason why this is a thin watch. You also get a black chapter ring with markings. There's a minute track on there that match that second hand. You are getting a ceramic bezel on here. It's 120 click. It's unidirectional. Let's listen to that. Really good bezel action on here. Very solid. Feels fantastic. And of course, I believe the bezel is lumed. We will do a lume shot towards the end of the video. Case is finished really nicely. You have a very large line of polish on the top of the case, a nice edge on the bottom of the case. Nothing is sharp. It feels really nice, nice brushing and crisp transitions between brushing and polishing. You have a large crown at 6.3 millimeters. You get a screwed in case back with their logo, which of course I love, that octopus. And then you have a multi-link bracelet with solid end links, quick release, and screwed links. Very large screws on here. And it's a really nice bracelet that looks like an engineer's bracelet or something like that. And you have brushed sides. So everything is brushed on the bracelet. The only polish that you're really getting on here is on that edge that goes across the case. The buckle is where that improvement that I was talking about before happens. This is getting on-the-fly micro adjust. It's a very simple version of on-the-fly micro adjust, but the fact that it has it is great. It's a completely milled buckle. So usually what they've given in the past is a partially milled buckle, and it was also a generic buckle. This is less generic, although this is becoming more generic with a lot of brands. However, with that being said, I'm glad it is here because this is a very welcome addition to this watch, and it's very simple. It's just a tab here. You pull that tab and you can pull it in and out, and it is pretty smooth. So there you go. It's a little bit hard right now, but It feels really good, and obviously you're not going to use it all that often. You have big buttons here. Those are polished, so I lied. There was a little bit more polish there, and then a polished edge on the clasp. So there is a little bit more polish than just on the case. On my wrist today, I have a Christopher Ward. This is the Christopher Ward 12X. It's a watch that I wear pretty often these days. This is in grade 5 titanium, a skeletonized SH21. That is their in-house movement. It gets 100 meters of water resistance. Just a cool watch that, like I said, I wear very often because I really, really love it. And there is the Phoebus on my 7.5-inch wrist. Like I was saying before, this is a 39.9 millimeter watch that wears like a 40 millimeter watch, and under 12 millimeter thickness. It's around 11.4 millimeters, so it is pretty thin because you are getting that Miyota 9039. Price on this watch is $425 right now on the Phoebus website. That's a very good price for a very good watch. They make very good watches. If you want their most straightforward design, this is really it, I would say. I think this is their most straightforward design. You do get that wave pattern, which is etched into the dial. That's a nice touch. And there's a little bit of a play with colors here with that orange and light blue for the indices. Other than that, nothing too crazy. A very straightforward, good-looking, well-made dive watch, now with micro adjust. Lume is always good on Phoebus. It's always very liberally applied to the dial, to those indices, those hands, and of course the bezel. The bezel is extremely bright. They put a lot of layers of Lume, so it almost acts like solid Lume, and you're getting this brightness because they put a lot of Lume on the dial. Lume is not cheap. I've said this in many videos that I've made. Lume is expensive, and obviously they are not shy with the amount of Lume that they're putting on their bezel and the indices. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of Phoebus? What do you think of this watch? What do you think about what I said about the clasp? I think that was probably the last thing that they needed to address to make themselves a real competitor. I think that they were a competitor before because their quality is really good. I think is really important for them because in order to compete with other brands who might offer less quality, however, they're offering micro adjust, people might see that and choose the other brand over some brands that don't offer micro adjust. So a brand like Phoebus to get micro adjust on watches like this and keep the price down, $425, is very important. And I think they did a great job with this watch. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of Phoebus? What do you think about what I have said in this video? Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. I will put a link to this watch down in the description below. That's really it. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for checking out this watch, and I will catch you guys in the next video.